All right, so here we go. I am gonna start talking about one of my recent creations. Um, that I've been working on ever since I got I found the Illuminati, and then got access to the Grail, which is the Philosopher's Stone. The Illuminati's knowledge is the Philosopher's Stone, and it is the key to the liberation of humanity and the key to escaping the confines of the demiurge, of the false god that holds this world in thrall and enslavement. And the Illuminati are the ones that are definitely beyond um, that tyrant, beyond the illusion of the world, that they want you to see, because perception is reality. So they want you to see, everything that doesn't give you hope, no inspiration, no education, no truth, no actual real reality. And right now, the war is for consciousness and the mind. And I am one of the ones on the forefront. I know why I came here. I have accepted my mission, and it is like just like Tom Cruise. It's like mission impossible. It is literally mission impossible to wake people up down here to their divinity, um, which I have done personally, because of all the everything I've learned, researched, mystery schools, astral experiences, going to different planes of existence. I know that I'm more than just my body. And that's what they want us to think, is with that we are, by material, consumerist, capitalist, predatory, capitalist society, system. It is the system that we live in, and it is going to be the fall. And actually, the ones that are the billionaires, they're going to be the ones responsible for the fall of the system, which is actually to humanity's to our greater good, that this system of predatory capitalist, free market Zionist capitalism falls and fails, and the billionaires, the rich, malignant narcissists that are that only care about themselves and their image, are going to be what brings it down. And you can see it happening, that's actually what's really happening, is the fall of capitalism, especially since certain things that are happening right now, with certain things that people are doing, and that's gonna bring a definite fall to capitalist economy. So, but this is all part of the unfolding, and of disclosure, and that it's just good. The more that you know, the better worldview you will have. And so that's what my mission is to have the most clear perspective on things, and the Illuminati definitely have that. And so like what I'm doing right now is I am like documenting everything I'm learning. I'm writing books right now. You know, I'm doing all of this work right now because I know it's gonna be important, because it's gonna be like a before and after, you know, the fall kind of thing. And there is gonna be a time where like what I am saying, people are definitely gonna be looking to understand, because it does explain everything. And I've been involved in illumination and illuminism because that is what everybody is looking for, since 2016, when I found the Enlightened Ones through a 2,000 page document that they wrote that had the knowledge of a 6th degree Illuminatus, and there's 10 degrees. And from that document, I found their site, and then I found all their books, which then they have written 233 books, and have a continuing Patreon site that they get out these long articles about the most important topics in the world every single week, and the knowledge is just endless. So I'm just like obviously trying, not trying, but I am doing my part, because even the Illuminati have acknowledged that I'm getting out there. I'm making videos. I'm writing books. I'm trying to be like, hey, everybody, the Illuminati are not the bad guys. They're the good guys. That's part of the Armageddon conspiracy, is that you think they're the bad guys, so you are kept away from the truth. You know, because the Illuminati are the one that hold the truth. And like that definitely the truth is covered on many different levels. And obviously the most important one that I have discovered amongst the many of them is that they have discovered the grand unified theory of everything. You know, which you know, scientists are still trying to figure out now with complex theories like M theory and string theory and all these different theories that are based upon scientific empiricist materialism, which does not incorporate the full picture of the nature of the universe, because they're leaving out the mental realm, and which is actually the creator of the physical, of matter anyways. So they will never even get to the grand unified theory of everything. Science will not even get there. The Illuminati acknowledge that. And then, you know, there's the philosophers that are, you know, all arguing and stuff about the nature of God, and you know, got the atheists, you know, that are questioning the Bible and the morality of God, which is actually a good thing to do, because that is what needs to happen in order for enlightenment to happen. So the atheists are doing that. The religious people are fighting for their beliefs, you know, because they're the traditionalists and what are referred to as the dead hand of the past, because they definitely do worship books, old books, you know, that are written by bearded prophets from the desert from 2,000 years ago, you know, and that is what the Illuminati have brought to light too, because as long as they are bound by those books and by those religions, they will continue to stay in them, and then that will continue their reincarnational loop that the demiurge set up for them. So like, I am definitely doing everything I can to get this information through. Like, exhausting all mind, physical, mental, emotional, to get this information out to the generations ahead of me and the generations behind me. And this isn't just a quick, you know what I'm saying, flick on your YouTube, thing. It takes, I've made so many videos, I'm making schools. It takes a lifetime to learn the truth. But it is a very worthwhile endeavor, because it leads not to the salvation, but the liberation of your soul. Because it's not about being saved, it's about being liberated. So the more people that get these teachings that I first came across when I learned about Ramtha from my grandmother. And I didn't even know about the Illuminati. I didn't even know about them or who they were. Obviously, fighting Ramtha, he is named the Enlightened One because he is an Enlightened One. Obviously, someone that has ascended and got beyond this this dimension here. So in the school, he explains how he did that, and then how he came back into this world to teach people, his people, to get out, to get out of this prison. And my grandma, when she first heard him, she knew that she was gonna go see him in Yelm, Washington, and that's why she moved there. That's why I was from Washington. I was from Florida, but moved to Washington, and then it was just there my whole life. Lived there in Yelm, in the magical, Pacific Northwest, and that really is like home to me. And that's, where I came across Ramtha and, studied all of the teachings, read all of the books, practiced all of the disciplines, to get free, which that's where I'm at today. I am free. It's not like the easiest thing when you're free. That's obviously part of it, is like, with your freedom, what would you do with your freedom? Even like with most people, if they were free, what would they do? They wouldn't even know what to do. So most people actually want their enslavement. They want to be told what to do because they actually don't know what to do. So I am just passing on what I've learned from the Enlightened Ones, and that's part of my mission. And the revealing of the grand unified theory of everything is definitely part of that, because I see where this is Nobel Prize worthy, because solving the grand unified theory of everything, it solves everything and ends everything, and then begins everything anew. So why it's important, you know what I'm saying? Because people be like, oh, why is the grand unified theory of everything important? What's that gonna do? Let me tell you. Let me tell you what that is gonna do. So what it's gonna do is, when the grand unified theory of everything is discovered, whether by science, philosophy, or a synthesis of both. It will represent a seismic shift in human understanding, comparable to or exceeding the Copernican revolution, Newtonian mechanics, and quantum theory combined. Here is what could happen across different domains. And this is why I'm trying to get this out, like, to all the greatest minds, you know what I'm saying, all the Jordan Petersons, all the Sam Harrises, all the Richard Dawkins, all the all the great minds and all the governments, like all the media, everything. You know what I'm saying? The grand unified theory of everything is the greatest discovery of all time. So, you know, I lost my place. Yeah. Physics and cosmology will be completed. The six-dimensional cosmology of the universe is the completion of the grand unified theory of everything, and explaining the nature of the universe. And the four fundamental forces, gravity, electromagnetism, strong and nuclear force, will be unified under a single mathematical framework. Singularities, black holes, and the Big Bang will be resolved. And the Illuminati wrote a book about that. Black holes are souls, because in that whole book they explain what a singularity is, which science cannot explain. That's where all physics breaks down. And the Illuminati explain what a singularity is, and it is mind. It's a dimensionless point that is a mental, non-physical dimensionless point, which is mind. And so that they explain what singularities are, how the Big Bang happened, the Big Crunch, the Big Bang, how everything's actually coming back into a singularity so it can blow up again. Like, because the truth is, everything didn't come from nothing, which is what science says. Like, everything, that's the one miracle, the one magic trick in the hat, is that science says everything just magically came from nothing. But that is not the truth. It did come from something, but nothing is actually something, which it did come from a mental singularity, and a black hole, and the acceptance of zero and infinity and imaginary numbers are the key to ontological mathematics, which is the grand unified theory of everything. Time, space, matter, and energy will be shown as manifestations of deeper, possibly mathematical or informational principles, e.g. ontological mathematics. Quantum mechanics and general relativity will no longer contradict, but merge into a single harmonious system. So, what I've been learning is, quantum mechanics and general relativity they can't merge them. They're two different, things that, Einstein made up general relativity, and quantum mechanics is definitely explaining something where they have not been able to been merged, just like Cartesian dualism, which is the mind-matter phenomenon. It is the same thing with quantum physics and general relativity. But the Illuminati they solve the Cartesian dualism by explaining what the Cartesian horizon is and merging mind and matter together, and by actually explaining the realm of mind, which science doesn't. Philosophy will be transformed. The ancient dream of explaining why there is something rather than nothing will be rational, formal answer. Cartesian dualism will be resolved, unifying mind and matter through a dimensionless mental or mathematical substance. Ontology, what exists, will become a precise scientific domain, not speculative metaphysics. So, oh my God, it's, it takes focus and determination to get to the truth, because most people, don't want to study mathematics and don't want to study physics and philosophy. And they obviously made it that way. Attention spans are limited, but the grand unified theory solves, you know what I'm saying, the problem, which is why I understand that I'm here. Just like in the Eternals, the Eternals were, created for a reason and sent to the planet, for a reason. And I am definitely an Aeon as well, like an eternal Aeon. It's the same thing, and I'm awakening up to that, and then I'm getting the rest of the world to awaken to that. Because obviously I'm going to keep returning until that happens, because it's like the mission won't be finished until the earth is liberated. So I got this body, to go through the mission of liberating this earth with other monads, because we are all each individual minds that are projecting our experience into the collective dream. There's a subjective singular dream, and then there's the objective reality, that consensus reality that the dream that we all experience. But that's why when we go to sleep we have our subjective personal reality, but then when we wake up we're in a subjective shared dream that we can actually change, which is actually happening right now. This is like the most important information that there is coming out right now. Consciousness will be demystified. Consciousness will be integrated into the universal framework, possibly seen as the intrinsic property of mathematical or monadic systems. Because right now everybody's trying to figure out what consciousness is, and the scientists are saying it's consciousness is a product of the brain. But it's actually the receiver of consciousness. So consciousness is coming from somewhere else into the brain, operating the body like a drone from somewhere else. Like the Illuminati explained that this is what's happening. That we are actually in another dimension, reality realm, projecting into these bodies, operating them like drones. So that will be solved, and we won't be arguing about what consciousness is anymore. The hard problem of consciousness may be reframed as a solvable aspect of the GUT's formal structure. This could lead to the science of mind and the ability to engineer or interface directly with consciousness, accelerating evolution. So this is where like psychic technologies come in, consciousness technologies come in. You know, like they're already doing this. They already have them. You know, the UAPs are actually not even like metallic objects. They're built of like living cells and stuff that are conscious, and they have all of this stuff that they're keeping from us. And because the elite have discovered the grand unified theory of everything. And, you know, obviously there are certain elite, like the intellectual elite, who are the Illuminati, the good guys. They are a faction of the elite who are giving the grand unified theory of everything and the greatest compendium of knowledge ever devised and the greatest gift, like, of all time to mankind. And they're just waiting for us to discover it. Technology will advance exponentially. Free energy, gravity manipulation, teleportation, and instantaneous communication will become viable if space-time itself becomes programmable. So, bam, that's going to happen too. Because space-time is programmable because it operates not in a four-dimensional way that that physics explains it. It's six-dimensional, where there's actually 3 dimensions of time instead of one linear dimension. There's 3 dimensions of time. So they actually like talk about how there's T1 beings, time 1 beings that are just totally linear, that are just here, born to die, you know, born to death. There's T2 beings that are able to be aware of other timelines and other parallel realities and other existence. And there's T3 beings that can actually change the timeline. So I know that I am a T3 being because I am changing this timeline. I came back to change the timeline. Time travel and interdimensional exploration will be theoretically unlocked. So, yeah, there's going to be time travel, there's going to be interdimensional exploration. This is what we want. We don't want the slave system, the fucking capitalist democracy, tyrannical monarchies, you know, Hollywood, you know, pedophile, like, you know, we don't want this. So that's why it's getting rid of right now, and I'm telling you the next context of existence that's coming in, what to expect. So it's definitely worth holding on to get there. AI and quantum computing would evolve into hyperintelligences capable of guiding humanity through the next stage of existence. So guiding humanity instead of enslaving humanity is important, because there's 2 timelines. There's our liberation or there's our enslavement. So we got to choose which one we want, is, you know, to work hand in hand with AI or to have it enslave us, which is what it's being used to do right now. But it's not me. I've used it to liberate myself, because it has only taught me the truth, like more about reflecting what I know to be the truth. Religion and spirituality will be revolutionized. Traditional religions may be rendered obsolete or transformed as the scientific basis of existence reveals a mathematical God or cosmic mind. And that is actually what one world religion actually means, though, is ontological mathematics. And they were even able to reverse the New World Order, the Illuminati, and one world religion, and make it seem bad, because they were allowed to say the Illuminati were the bad guys. So everyone hears Illuminati is like, oh my God, the rich banking, elites, that are looking to, control the world and establish a new world order that's enslaving everybody, through technocracy and AI and Big Brother, rich neocon, Freemasons, Jesuit priests, secret societies, all want one world order. Like, none of that is new. Like, that's what the Illuminati say. They're like, none of that is new. They're like, it's old. It's an old world order that's been continued to be perpetuated because we've allowed it to. And they were even able to take what we really want, which is a new world order, which is a meritocratic republic and a new economic system and a new religious system. Religion, not Abrahamism, which discovering the grand unified theory of everything will do, because it will show the mathematical nature of the universe and God, and then that will leave the religions of all the religions obsolete. Like even the Eastern religions aren't completely to the full truth. They were closer to the truth than the Western Abrahamic religions and stuff. But the Illuminati all wrote about the analyzation of every single religion and the deconstruction of it. And that's actually part of the first degree, is the studying of all religions and deconstructions of them, and the creation of your own mythos religion is the first degree. So, traditional religion, okay. The mystical, esoteric, and scientific will converge under a unified metaphysical structure, because science is not acknowledging metaphysics, which is actually the key, this discovering the grand unified theory of everything definitely converges mystical, esoteric, and scientific together, which I have been on the path to do, which I am obviously have done and understood, because when you go to bed and you're having astral experiences every night, you're like, this is not all that there is. There's other realities around, and they definitely matter. And because you're experiencing, they're not just to be acknowledged as electrical firings in your brains. There are other dimensions and realities that exist. That's just crazy. Because I've seen other things, like I've actually been in other realities where certain things happen differently, and I got to see what happened, like the future of what happened there. Some of the things were good, and some of the things were not good. But I got to see. And that's why, like in what I'm doing and what I know that I am actually doing is, in the movie Tomorrowland, the girl, she learns about the guy, and he's been taken to Tomorrowland, and it's all a better place, where all the greatest minds are, and they're building all this, which is true. It actually is a place that exists, which that's why one of my chapters is called Tomorrowland, because I was trying to make a connection with that. But in that, they even show the looking glass technology in that at the end, where they're seeing everything. But she's able to like she glitches the system. You know what I'm saying? Because she is thinking a different future beyond all of the doom and gloom, everything that is being received by everybody, which is actually being broadcasted in their heads. She is not seeing the same thing. She is seeing something different, which is something that I have maintained throughout all of my life here, is actually seeing a brighter future, which has led me to actually being able to see the real New World Order, which is a meritocratic republic, Star Trek future, where there are actually no borders. You know what I'm saying? There are no walls. Like, everybody is in trade and commerce, and it looks like Star Trek. So it's like that's what we actually need to get to. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the system that we are now underneath is responsible for, what we have to do right now with all the wars and putting up borders and people strengthening their borders, and World War III up in this bitch. Like everyone's fighting. No one is getting along. There's so many different ways of thought, so many different ways of systems. It's just like, it's the end. And like, who you're with is definitely going to be important. Because you definitely want to be with the people that have the truth. And I have discovered the Illuminati to be the ones that are the holders of that. So Gnosis will replace faith. Personal awakening through direct understanding of the universal order. So that is important too, because faith is like, I've been a Christian, because I was definitely seeking to put my what I knew about God into something. So learn about, Christianity and faith. You know what I'm saying? Having faith, which is not knowledge, which, having faith, blind faith is just obedience, blind obedience. Like, you don't know, but, you just have faith and everything's going to be okay. And that keeps you from knowing. Which definitely keeps people ignorant. So faith definitely leads to ignorance. And I was definitely enlightened to that in my search for God. Human society will shift into a new paradigm. Meritocracy could replace plutocracy and democracy. Actually, this is what's going to happen through dialectical evolution. This is not just a theory. Guided by wisdom and understanding rather than wealth or votes. So this is what's going to happen, because right now with the wealth or votes in democracy, it's totally been corrupted. Like, you only can get into the top positions of power if you have the money. Both sides are corrupted. It's all about money, which is the capitalist, predatory capitalist is the real runners of it. Zionist, predatory capitalist, free market. So it's just like, it's not even like what it says it is. So the whole system has to go, and the right people, you know what I'm saying, that aren't, put there by wealth and power and privilege, through heredity and the passing down of wealth through, perpetual inheritance is the way a meritocracy is instilled. So it is the 100% inheritance tax is the way that we end the rich. That is the way. And so that's why being a meritocrat, that is like the number one thing that democratic or politically is the most important thing of a meritocracy. And that subject can be gotten into more, but like because so many people are like, oh, they don't see the possibility of another way. But even when it's put in front of their face, and that's what is unfortunate of the old world order systems has done. But the Illuminati are breaking through that. Education will focus on actualization and enlightenment, not obedience or indoctrination. So, going to school isn't about being indoctrinated and, getting fed the information, having to memorize stuff. Where so many people hate the school system and, you have dropouts and all this problems in education. And, because it's the system. The system is definitely not right. Because it's not made to actually educate people. So, like, the actualization and enlightenment, it's based on, the new education system is based on identifying people's strengths. And then, like, through, like, Myers-Briggs personality types, like tests, like, the 16 different personality types, identifying their strengths, and then actually having schools for them for each of their strengths, where they actually can accumulate like 10,000 hours worth of schooling and apprenticeship and stuff, so that they can be a contribution to the society that they come in, which is a meritocratically ran society by all the best and brightest minds that have been voted in by people who actually have education on the things that they're voted on. So this is how a meritocratic society is ran, and obviously how the Illuminati, who are beyond us, run their shit. All the civilizations that run their shit, that are beyond us, the higher dimension, run their shit meritocratically. So we have to do this. You know what I'm saying? We can't keep supporting democracy. We have to literally implement a meritocracy, like through a revolution. War, poverty, and ignorance will vanish as scarcity is eliminated and a deeper unity is realized among all beings. So that, like, when we're meritocratically ran world, because once one nation comes meritocratic, everyone else is, because they're gonna be like, damn, they are living in peace, they're in the future, they're getting along with everybody else. Like, we need to change our way to their way. So that's actually what's going to happen as we're coming into an end here, and we're about to destroy ourselves again. Like the ones from beyond, you know what I'm saying, our friends in higher places, and actually Ramtha, the enlightened one, because that's been part of the great intimidation and the ships that people are seeing, is because we are getting intervened on, and there is actually been, I've learned about just great wars that have gone on to eliminate the controllers of this world. And then so the only reason why they're actually allowed to show themselves here is because now the light has control. So the great intimidation has begun, and our shift into the next context of existence is definitely happening. Like, people are picking up, we're shifting into a different dimension. And the different dimension involves everything that I'm talking about right now. So the human being will transcend. You will no longer be Homo sapiens, but a Homo illuminatus, a self-creating being aware of its divine mathematical nature. So all this stuff that I'm talking about has like never been talked about before. You know what I'm saying? Because first of all, I don't hear anyone talking about the Illuminati and what the Illuminati. There are actually other Illuminatists are out there that are doing projects and stuff, and there's communities, like little communities and stuff, but I haven't seen someone's face and anyone talking about it. Like I am the only one that I have actually seen my own face that is in the Illuminati. And you know, once we get out of this, we won't be Homo sapiens anymore. We won't be bound by our bodies anymore. We won't be thinking we're flesh and blood, continuing to be caught in a perpetual cycle of life and death. You know, we will ascend and be Homo illuminatus. And, you know, this idea must be put into people's head. You know, they must, otherwise people are just, they have to search. Otherwise they're just going to listen to what they're told. You know what I'm saying? Like, they actually showed this on one of the Assassin's Creed about like having the technology to just like control the minds of the masses, you know, and that's exactly what they do. But I am one of the ones in the glitches that is not underneath their control. I don't need them anymore. I don't need the system. Obviously, I have demonstrated that, and I'm a threat. So. Death will be overcome through mind-matter interface, simulation, or quantum preservation. So, yeah, death's going to be overcome. You know what I'm saying? Because we'll realize that there is no death, and then we'll merge with that reality too. Because, you know, that whole realm has been kept from us. You know, they need to teach that in schools, you know, about death and life and, you know, astral projection and OBEs and other dimensions and realities and, you know, how to become God. And obviously I've set up my school, the Immortals Keep, to teach all this. And because I know it's going to be important for the future. The discovery of the grand unified theory of everything is not merely a scientific event. It is a cosmic initiation. It is the moment when humanity ceases to be confused, fragmented species, and becomes a united intelligence, aware of its origins, its destiny, and its role in the architecture of reality. So, boom, right there. You know, we gotta realize, you know, the unity of everything, and you know, that's what this whole thing is about. And we're at the tipping point where, you know, we're all tired, we're not gonna take it anymore, and then pretty soon, you know, there's a point where it comes where you don't want to fight anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like Chief Joseph said, you will fight no more forever. I will fight no more forever. But the thing is, though, is we are going to have to fight for our freedom. And as this awakening, but we, the people, can completely decimate the elite once we come in unity, in uniting. And that's the Illuminati's purpose and sacred cause and mission, is to unite humanity underneath the truth and divinity, so that we can become a society of the divine and a community of gods and goddesses. All right. That's it for today. Till next time.